Hi, this is Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, and you are watching the Nerf Herder Council.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. I am your host, JT. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, as well as shortly the Facebook and YouTube of the Virtual Cantina Network. We are live at those locations every other Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are also on the Nerf Herder Council Twitch page if you're into that whole Twitch thing. As always, guys, we are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. If you would like to get some awesome customizable Nerf Herder Council swag, go to shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. If you would like to get some awesome Virtual Cantina Network swag, go to tpublic.com/user/virtual-cantina. We are waiting for AJ. He is having some computer problems, as we talked about on the last episode. He has moved into a new house, and he's dealing with some new setup stuff. So his laptop has taken a crap on him. Perfect timing right before we go live. But I do have something that I would like to talk about before AJ gets on. So real quick, tonight's topic is going to be a little bit familiar to those of you who are fans of my music podcast, my Dream Theater centric podcast, Talking into Infinity. What we like to do is we pick a year that a Dream Theater record has been released, and we say, well, let's say you go into the record store to get that Dream Theater record in that particular year, but you're not allowed to buy it. You have to buy something else. What are you buying? And AJ saw that, it's a few weeks ago, actually. He doesn't really watch or pay attention to my other podcast, as well he shouldn't. It's not really in his wheelhouse. But he said, that's kind of a cool idea. We should do that on the Nerf Herder Council. So I said, yeah, it's easy enough. So so tonight we're going to take an idea from the music podcast that I do, Talking into Infinity, and we're bringing it here to the Nerf Herder Council. And tonight is going to be, it's the year 2005. You walk into a movie theater and you say, give me a ticket to Revenge of the Sith. And they go, can't watch Revenge of the Sith, man. What else you got? So we are picking our other choices in 2005 that we would watch if we can't watch Revenge of the Sith. But before we get to that, and I gotta tell you, man, real quick, I'm just gonna complain. I'm trying to share this stuff to the Virtual Cantina Networks page. Facebook is being a real fucking asshole. So, hey, Meta, fuck you. Oh, by the way, the views of the Nerf Herder Council don't necessarily reflect those of the Virtual Cantina Network, and there's going to be bad language. So, yeah, not that it matters right now because we're not live on any of those channels, but we will be in a second. So, I did, as I mentioned a second ago, there is something I would like to talk about before we get to that. And as long as, I've got a few minutes, it is June 17th, and today is the 35th anniversary of the release of one of my all-time favorite records, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge by the mighty Van Halen. So since we are doing a, we're kind of stealing from my other podcast, which is about music, I'm going to talk music for a minute. I'm going to kill some time while AJ's getting all set up and everything. And we'll talk a little bit of music here on the Nerf Herder Council. For those of you who do not know, who are listening or watching to the Nerf Herder Council, I'm a massive Van Halen fan. They are my all-time favorite band. My second favorite band, it's a very close second, but it's Dream Theater. That's why I have a Dream Theater centric podcast. But yeah, so I'm a huge Van Halen guy. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge is pretty much I would say like a quintessential Van Halen album. And I think it's a record to me that, you know, as I've grown older, I'm realizing it's kind of like, if you're a Van Halen fan, it's like the fair warning of the Sammy Hagar era. Because to the David Lee Roth honks, the average fan would say, oh, 1984 is the greatest record, or the debut is the greatest record. But to the really hardcore Van Halen fans, they always reach out to fair warning. And it's because of the heaviness, the darkness, there's just something to it that's got a little more meat to it. And I feel like For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge is that record in the Sammy Hagar era. I mean, the only keyboards to be found are on Right Now, and it's a standard, just, baby grand piano. Other than that, it's just all guitar all day long. It's Edward Van Halen, just pedal to the metal. It is absolutely just one of the most banging hard rock records that you'll ever hear. And it's I think for me, the pinnacle of Edward Van Halen in terms of songwriting and melody. You can look at 1984 as maybe kind of that peak, because he had gotten into his own studio. He had just built 1984 and done that kind of thing. So obviously the songs are just untouchable. But he did reach back into the catalog for House of Pain. There's a couple other ideas that he had pulled back from way earlier in the demos, from the early 70s, as Van Halen fans know. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was really just Eddie hunkering down. There's the first time we've ever used that term on this show. Hunkering down in 1980 in 5150 since 1984, and really just digging in and just playing guitar. And everything he came up with was just a ripper. You can look at the hits like Pound Cake and Run Around and, Top of the World. I mean, it's all very clear and whatnot. But when you really get into stuff, like you've got, some really amazing, heavier, kind of very guitar driven stuff like Spanked, obviously Judgment Day, Pleasure Dome, The Dream Is Over. I mean, there are just so many great songs on that record. And for me personally, that record came out when I was 15 years old, and I posted about it on Facebook today. I absolutely wore out. I can't even tell you how many copies of that I wore out. God, I bought cassettes of it, and then I ripped the cassettes when the original wore out, and then I went and bought a new original cassette because I just had to have a new one. And I mean, it's just such a seminal record for me. I have so many phenomenal memories of that album. And, as into it as I was, then I saw the music videos. And again, I was 15 years old. So you're right. Sorry to, maybe this is a little weird. But 15 years old, you're a puberty kid. And when that Pound Cake video came out and you got all those like hot models and stuff in the dressing room, you're like, oh my God, it's Eddie Van Halen playing guitar, and like Sammy Hagar and Alex and Michael Anthony in this giant stage, and now there's hot chicks and boobs, and like it's like, the hell's happening here, man? Like, it was just like the quintessential rock and roll experience. And so obviously Pound Cake sets the whole thing off. And then like the rest of the album just kicks in. Like, I mean, you go from Pound Cake immediately into Judgment Day. And so you're like, oh man, when you buy the album, you're like, oh man, fuck yeah, Pound Cake. And then Judgment Day comes in and you're like, what the hell is this, man? And then Spanked is tracked, you're like, bow, wow, this just super heavy, kind of detuned thing, and then it picks back up into Run Around, and then you get Pleasure Dome. I mean, it's just like, I'm going to gatekeep here. If you are a Van Halen fan, if you claim to be a Van Halen fan, and you deny the greatness of For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, even if you are one of those people who just only respects the original 6 Roth records, if you deny for unlawful carnal knowledge, you should have your Van Halen card, your Van Halen fan card revoked, because there's just this is the Edward Van Halen guitar record. So that's, that's that's where I'm at. So all right, AJ is now in the chat. AJ, if you could do me a favor, my Facebook for some reason is not letting me share our broadcast to the Virtual Cantina Network Facebook page. So if you could please do that for us. I don't know why my Facebook's being an a-hole, but if you could do that, that'd be awesome. Kale says, by the way, Kale, great to see you. He says, I just realized something. Same as 1984 is the popular DLR album. Fair Warning is the fan album. I would say that 5150 is the 1984 for Hagar. Okay. All right. So popular as numbers, fan albums start with F. All right, Kale, you're doing way too much math and logic here. So well played, but yeah, man, that is confusing. All right. Kale also says, well, since there's only 2 of us in the chat right now, there's more than 2, Kale. Can I make an announcement? Of course you can, Kale. So give us your announcement, and then AJ's hooking us up behind the scenes, and then he's going to jump on, and we're going to get into tonight's topic. So Kale has an announcement. By the way, we got to say hello to our amazing friend Chastity Crawley. Great to see you. She says, "Hey, Carl." She says, "Wow, I messed that up." Kale. No, Chaz. It's Carl. It's Carl. Don't worry. You got it right. So, yeah, as I said, guys, before we get to tonight's topic, myself personally, I am celebrating the 35th anniversary of one of the most influential records of my life. Just an absolutely slamming, just killer Van Halen record. I love every single song. It's a seminal record for me. So we're going to get to Kale's announcement. Then we're going to bring AJ on if he's ready to go. Just let me know, brother. Kale says, my first single from the Rescored project will release on July 17th. So Rescored, Kale, that's your new band, right? Like, let us know what Rescored is so I can announce that too. He says, my first single from the Rescored project will release on July 17th. Grow is that's the name of the song, is kicking off the re-recording progress from my first album, now more complete with keys, bass, and drums. And he says, and in super proggy fashion, I'm starting with the initial last song. Way to go, Kale. All right, man. So this is, I believe, Kale, correct me if I'm wrong. Rescored is your first band, and you're re-releasing stuff from your first band and redoing it. So correct me if I'm wrong, so I can get that right, and then we'll bring AJ on here. So in any case, let's get to tonight's topic. I believe I've pontificated enough. AJ, are you ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. No? Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. There we go.
I guess. I don't know.
Oh, my gosh. So, all right. How are you, man? Of all nights,
if there is anything that could have gone wrong tonight, I was so proud of myself. We talked before the show, and I had the graphics done, and I had everything down here in the man cave, which really was just the undecorated basement here. But I had it all set up. I was down like 20 minutes early, and then I go to open my laptop, and nothing happens. And then I had to go get my work laptop, and then that wouldn't even shut down, let alone reboot. And yeah, so if it could have gone wrong at the last minute, it did. Well, but we're here anyway, so that's fine.
Exactly. And of all nights for it to happen, you picked a night when I had something else to talk that I could like, filibuster about. So there you go. So that didn't suck.
Yeah, nice audible there. I had no idea that you were going to talk about that at all.
Well, I've got a Post-it note on my show notes. Yes, I did show prep. To just mention that, because I know that's like a big record for you too. Like, I know you're not the Van Halen fan that I am, but you are a big Van Halen fan, and that album I know that you're a big fan of. It's like, how can you not be? So I was going to talk about it just for a second, but when you were like, yeah, my computer's fucked, I I was like, well, thank God I got something to talk about then. There we
Right?
go. So, all right, let's finish. By the way, are we officially on the are we now on the Virtual Cantina Network's Facebook page?
I have no idea. You keep telling me to do that like I have any idea how that happens, but
Well, dude, usually it's just like our event pops up on my page, and then it's just like you just hit share, and it's not Look, it says set up live video. I've already set it up, you bastard. Fuck you, Meta. You know what's awesome? We can swear as much as we want now because we're technically not live on their page.
yeah.
So it's like we could be like, hey, Meta, go fuck yourself. This is awesome. This is turning out to be a great episode.
It is. It really is. And yeah, Meta can go fuck itself because that's exactly my feeling. Anytime I try to do anything on Facebook, it's just, you know what? This is old man yelling at clouds. So let's just keep moving. I've not had a good day with technology. We'll just put it that way.
Hold on, I think I figured it out.
Good, because I don't think people want to watch us Googling things live.
Yeah. All right. Well, if I didn't figure it out, tough shit. I just did what I could. See, there we go. Oh, Sam Gangadine, great to see you. She says, hi, John. Sherry Evans Ellsburn, great to see you as always. She says, I couldn't find you there. Sherry, in a minute, I think you can. I think I figured it out. So there we go. Look at Kale. Old man yelling at cloud storage. What? Nice. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's get into tonight's topic. I think we've kind of there we go. We are officially now on the Star Wars Celebration fan page. So there we go. The Virtual Cantina Network page. All right. So what we are doing tonight, AJ, you had kind of brought this up as like, well, you kind of thought this was an interesting idea that my co-host Brian and I do on my music podcast. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's basically like, well, we pick a year and we say, hey, a Star Wars movie came out that year, but what if you can't, in our other show, it's Dream Theater, but this will be Star Wars. And say, hey, a Star Wars movie came out this particular year, but you're not allowed to see it. So what else are you going to see? Let's say you go in the theater and they say, nope, can't watch Star Wars, but you could pick any other movie from that particular year. What are you watching? Mm-hmm. So we're doing that for the first time tonight. And this is kind of new to AJ. So I picked an easy year. I thought I would pick the year of my favorite movie of all time. Also my favorite Star Wars movie, that being Revenge of the Sith. So we are doing 2005. We'll go back and do all the other years because it does give us quite a bit of material. You brought up a great point, AJ. Like, what if it's a year we don't really know anything? Because I did look up 1977 when we first started talking about this. And I was like, yeah, I know some of these, but I don't know a lot. But there are some classics, and I'm like, I probably should have seen these by now. So it's going to take some research.
Yeah, I feel like especially 77. I mean, that's before my lifetime and almost before yours. So we'll be forgiven for having not seen too many movies that year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that definitely falls into the niche of oh, it's on my list. I meant to watch it.
Yeah, that's the sad thing is I looked up 80 and 83. Like there are quite a few films that ended up on those lists that were released that year, and I was like, I really have missed a lot of classics. So maybe this will give us something to watch. I mean, you just moved into.
I kind of had the opposite problem with 2005. I thought that would be an easy one to start with. I mean, there's a lot of movies that I've heard of, but have I seen them and do I enjoy them? That's a little harder.
Okay. Well, but see, it's kind of a fun exercise, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, even if they're not my favorite movies of all time, they're my favorite movies of 2005. So it still counts. No, the other reason I just wanted to touch on this real quick. The other reason I picked this topic was because maybe I'm just getting the wrong news sources or stuff, but people are really bagging on the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And I figured, well, I'm just going to take a little break from Star Wars on this episode. Let's talk about something else, because if we stay on Star Wars, then I'm going to say something about the fandom. And I figured it's just a good time to check out some other flicks.
Well, you know what, dude? I think it's a good. You know what? I can speak for you. So we're gonna get to this topic in a second, but I think I can speak for what you're looking to say. I would like to reiterate that the views of the Nerfer Council
Here we go.
don't necessarily reflect those of the Virtual Cantina Network, and also there might be bad language on our show. Yeah. If you don't like the Mando and Grogu movie, or I'm sorry, as we say on the show, Mando and Grogu, fuck you. It's a great movie. You're wrong. I don't know what the fuck you're going to the theater for. Keep your negative bullshit opinion to yourself. And yeah, fuck off. It's a great movie. It's a good time. And apparently you are a massive fucking buzzkill. So piss off. The movie's great. And I don't know who pissed in your Cheerios, but I applaud them. So yeah. Okay, let's get back to tonight's topic. There you go.
Damn, you have a sharp tongue tonight, sir.
I've seen the same things you have, and I'm about sick of the negativity. So I completely agree with you. It's time for some positivity.
I was just wondering, my take on it is that the people who have seen it generally like it. It's got a very good audience score. There's just not a lot of people going to see it, and that's the head scratcher to me. It's one of those weird movies where no one has that much bad to say about it, but no one cares. It's weird.
Well,
this one's just going to come and go, and hopefully people rediscover it later. I don't know.
I think it's going to start a whole new era of stuff, and I'm excited for it. You know, I mean, you say not a lot of people have seen it. I think they have. But I do know one movie that a lot of people have seen, and that's the first movie on my list. We've each picked 5 movies. I will give my favorite of the 5 last, and then I will give my 3 honorable mentions. But a movie people have seen a lot of, and it's awesome, and it's gory, and it's gross. It is the second chapter of the Firefly saga. It was released on July 22nd of 2005. It is The Devil's Rejects. So,
yes.
real quick,
I figured
Dave,
you would put this one on there.
Have to. Dave Carey, what's up, my man? Great to see you, bro. Yeah, The Devil's Rejects. I think I've talked about this ad nauseum on our Halloween episodes. I'm a big fan of gore. When I'm watching a horror movie, I want it to be gross. I want it to be visceral. And holy crap, Devil's Rejects, this is visceral. And I think for me personally, I think it is what House of a Thousand Corpses should have been. Because to me, House of a Thousand Corpses is very much like, hey, check it out. This is if Rob Zombie made Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, and you could accuse his Halloween remake of doing that, but his Halloween remake was specifically a remake of Halloween. House of a Thousand Corpses was supposed to be an original concept. It was not. It was very much, hey man, here's, Texas Chainsaw. When I think Rob Zombie's making a horror movie, Devil's Rejects is what I think of. And it was awesome.
So you feel like that's the peak of the trilogy?
Oh, by far. And I love the whole trilogy. I think I talked about, when I mentioned we're sponsored by Audible, yada, yada. I think a couple episodes ago, I talked about, I listened to a book, which is the making of the Firefly trilogy. So I'm a big fan of all 3, but yeah, Devil's Rejects is clear. It's definitely the Empire Strikes Back of, this trilogy. It's definitely, what Empire is to the original trilogy. That's what Devil's Rejects is to this film trilogy. I mean, it is so gritty, just so gritty. And the tension just never, ever, ever lets go. You get more of Captain Spaulding, who is, to me, is one of the greatest characters in horror movie history.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And it's just, the whole movie, you're just kind of like, you're unsettled and you're nervous, especially, when Otis, takes the two musicians out to the, to go pick up that supply of guns or whatever, and then all hell breaks. It's just like, oh my God, when they kill Brian Posehn right off the bat, things like that. I mean, just the whole thing is just, God bless. Like, it's what you imagine if you were ever to get kidnapped by a psycho, and you think, oh, it must be like it is in the movies. Like, this is the movie you would picture. That's what you're scared of, and that's what plays out in The Devil's Rejects, man. All right, so Kale McLeish says, never heard of or seen it. All right, Kale. So Rob Zombie has a trilogy. It's kind of called the Firefly trilogy. The first one is House of a Thousand Corpses. The second one is Devil's Rejects, and the third one is Three from Hell. Devil's Rejects is excellent if you're into horror. Very, very visceral. It is like unbelievably realistic, just brutal. And they had to cut a bunch of stuff just to not get an NC-17 rating. And so for me, this is definitely a fantastic, fantastic movie. It's what I go to watch horror movies for. So this is this is the first one on my list. So of my five,
I might have to rewatch this one because it is not my favorite of this trilogy.
Okay, which one is your favorite?
My ranking of this trilogy is that it goes in release order for me. I think the best one was House of a Thousand Corpses, then Devil's Rejects, and then Three from Hell.
Okay.
But admittedly, I've only seen the second and third movies once a piece.
Okay.
But they just didn't grab me like the first one. I don't know why. Maybe it was just because I knew what to expect from Rob Zombie at that point. Whereas like the first one was like, holy crap. Okay, so I've seen horror movies, but I've not seen a Rob Zombie horror movie.
Okay.
And so that I think might have been it for me. But yeah, I don't know. You talk about like setting a mood and all that kind of stuff. I thought that like there are scenes that I can remember from House of a Thousand Corpses, and I couldn't really tell you anything about Devil's Rejects. I think
okay.
And then Three from Hell, wasn't that the one where they made the weird turn where you're supposed to actually like feel sorry for them somehow? Like they were sympathetic?
No, not at all. They had to rewrite the movie on the fly because Sid Haig, who was Captain Spaulding, he was super sick. Like he was at the end of his life. So they had to rewrite the movie and add like a new character that was, for all the stuff that Spaulding was supposed to do, they had to write a new character who ended up being like a cousin. But it's because Sid Haig could only act for like, I think a day or two or something. But yeah.
Well, that is truly sad.
Yes.
But yeah, maybe it was Devil's Rejects I'm thinking of then. But I seem to remember one of them where they were on the run, and I don't know, the way it was portrayed, it was like you were supposed to empathize with them. Be like, oh, come on, cops, just leave them alone. They just want to live their lives.
That would
have been Devil's Rejects. I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not memorable to me, so I guess it needs a rewatch.
Yeah, they were on the run in Devil's Rejects, and it's the cop that's chasing them is the brother of one of the cops that they slaughtered in House of a Thousand Corpses. So it's like basically a revenge story and whatnot. Dude,
would you chase my killers if I got murdered?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's so sweet.
And you know what else I would? I would also hire Diamond Dallas Page and Danny Trejo. There we go. Heart hands. So good for our audio viewers.
We could do this. There we go. I got my heart.
Here we go. Let's see. Here we go. Heart hands live on camera. Oh, we nailed it. There we go.
I think we. Okay, according to me, your hand was in the same direction as mine, so we both pointed to the left of our frames.
Somehow my damn screen is backwards, so yeah. See, look, Circle J, love you, dude. Our good buddy Circle J. He says DDP Yoga has solved murders. Yes, there it is. See, yeah. They hired Diamond Dallas Page and Danny Trejo as bounty hunters to track down the killers. So there we go. All right, so that is my first choice of my five. What is your first?
I was just going to say, so is Pikachu. So I don't know if solving murders is really a high bar.
What the hell is wrong with you? See,
Well-
like Circle J, your screen is fine. It's your hands. Oh my god, I miss you, dude. All right, so your first choice of your 5, and again, I'm keeping my favorite to last. So,
All right. Well, I have from one Firefly to another. I am going to say that my personal first pick, and again, I'm not going all the way to my favorite yet, but if you can see by the wallpaper behind me, I'm going to go with Serenity, which is the movie conclusion. Yep. There we go. Serenity 5. See, Kale knows what's up.
Kale knew it.
Yep. Had to, man. Okay, so this is a TV show that I don't think you're familiar with. You did not watch
Not at
Firefly,
all.
right?
Not
Okay,
at all.
so it's got a cult following now because it's one of those classic early 2000s Fox shows where they just yanked it without nearly enough time to warm up and replaced it with something shittier. So it's a cool sci-fi space western kind of thing. And it got shit canned after like I think it was 13 or 14 episodes. Like it didn't even get like a full season run, and they aired some of the things out of order, even though it was a serialized show. So it like the last episode wasn't even a finale. It wasn't intended as a finale, and it didn't even make sense because of the order in which they aired the shows. And it had for Fox at the time a good audience, and then it just got shit canned.
Okay.
And that was like 99 or 2000, I want to say. I mean, it was a couple of years later that they came out with this, and it was like, well, crap. All right, I guess God, I hate to draw parallels to Mandalorian and Grogu, but it's like, you know, if that movie is the finale of the Mandalorian and Grogu's saga, then you know, this show is kind of the same way, where this movie came out just to like try to tie things up a little bit, because they had a whole bunch of storylines that they were just building, and then they just got canned. So it's a good movie. It looks like the best episode of the TV show you ever saw. See the parallels? It's a Western, basically.
Right.
So yeah, I love this movie. I think it looks great, and I always love this show and the characters anyway. So we actually did a watch along of this. If you go back in the archives on the channel, we've got a watch along of this movie with me and Sir Joseph of Wren.
Sir Joseph of Wren, nice.
So
yeah, I remember.
You should watch this one, man. I think you'd get into it. I wonder if it would grab you without having watched the show first. It's one of those tough things where, because it was a few years after, and you know, the show didn't have a large audience, they kind of had to write it as a finale and also a standalone.
So it's like a chicken or the egg type of thing?
Well, it's like, no, it's definitely a finale to the events of the show, but they can't just not introduce the characters assuming that you'd seen the show. They still had to like onboard people who only went to the theater and never saw the TV show, even though it's the finale of the TV show.
Okay. All right.
It's a weird place to be, but you know, same thing they did in Mandalorian and Grogu. That was the whole cold open, was just like, who's this guy in the silver armor kicking ass on the Imperials? Oh, that's the Mandalorian. Okay, cool.
Right.
Now we know what he's up to. So,
by the way,
yeah.
Sherry Evans Ellsburn, by the way, tells us the VCN Virtual Cantina Network now has a show, Firefly Fridays. Second episode is this coming Friday at 9 Eastern. So there you go. For people who are looking to watch it, tune into the Virtual Cantina Network.
Also, fun fact about this show and this movie, this is one of the first things that Joss Whedon got his name on. So, you know, before he was writing Marvel and Avengers. Yeah.
Okay, that's why I know it. Okay. All right. By the way, you know,
Deadpool's girlfriend in an earlier appearance, she's in this movie, in the show, and she plays. No, they don't call it a prostitute. Oh, come on, bail me out here, Sherry. You know the term.
Streetwalker.
Companion.
Lady of the Night.
No, it's a companion. And it's a very respectable profession.
Are we allowed to say hua on the Virtual Cantina?
Sure. Too bad Beer League didn't come out in 2005.
I was going to say, we just let's just do an episode about Beer League, see how quickly we can get shut down. There you go. Yeah, Sherry says companion. Circle J says my ex. Oh, folks, that's an inside joke where it absolutely is like 100% accurate.
I was going to say low hanging fruit, but that might also be a reference to the X.
Yes. Oh God. All right. So moving on, I have another movie on my list.
Is it about fireflies?
No, and it's also the opposite of Circle
Microphone's falling,
J's X,
please.
because this movie's about a virgin.
Oh!
So this movie was released on August 19th of 2005. It is one of the funniest movies that I have ever seen. I have the 40-Year-Old Virgin. I think this starts a 3-movie run of excellence in film that is almost impossible to touch. Judd Apatow did 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, and Superbad in succession, excuse me. And I challenge anyone to come up with a 3-movie run as consistent or as hilarious as them.
That's what we in the business call a hot streak.
Yes. We in the business. We in the business. All of our tens of views. Right. Yeah, I mean, dude, the 40-Year-Old Virgin is just unbelievably hilarious. I saw it in the theater and I was like, okay, like the trailer got me because the humor just looked okay. It was like, I don't know, man. There's just something dry and relatable about the humor to it. And, especially at the time, like, and even now to this day, like, I am the nerd. Like, technically, I could have been 40 years old and still been a virgin. Let's be honest, and the way he describes things, like he's got an apartment full of action figures, and he doesn't drive a car, he rides a bike. Like, I mean, the whole thing is just, it is hilarious. And I mean, it just starts out the whole thing, like, and again, like, the views of the Nerf Herder Council don't necessarily reflect, and there's going to be bad language, but he's like, so what'd you do this weekend? He's like, yeah, I really had a taste for, an egg salad sandwich. So I went to the store and bought eggs, and, then I boiled the eggs and I chopped them up, and, and then, but then I realized I didn't have any bread, that whole thing. And then, but when, God, what the hell is this? When Seth Rogen's described, he's like, yeah, went to Mexico, and like, once you see the show and it's like a chick fucking a horse, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be awesome. But when it gets into it, it's like, yeah, no, it's a chick fucking a horse. Like, you're like, wow, it's not as cool as I thought it would be. So like right within the first couple minutes of the movie, I'm in the theater like, I love this movie. Look, it is just hilarious. And when they're playing poker, and like when he's like, yeah, like he's talking about like he's trying to pretend like he'd actually hooked up with a woman. He's like talking about her boobs, like, oh, there's like a big bag of sand. Like, it's like, it's just like, yeah, like, it's so relatable, and it's just so damn funny. And I know the whole as it goes, but it's also, and this is going to be a theme later in the show. It's also like a rom-com, and I am a massive sucker for a great rom-com. And so when you combine this kind of humor with a rom-com, like, it's just like, I think the casting was perfect. You've got the whole Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen, like, I know you're gay, like that whole back and forth thing that they were doing, like that kind of thing. And, like, no, Andy, I don't want your big box of porn. Like, like all that, like the whole thing is just hysterical. But then you've got, Andy like starting to date, Catherine, what's her name? I forget the actress's name, but he's like going on dates and like starting to get into it's such a fun movie, and it's relatable. And even when it gets vulgar, like, it's it's not a turn off and everything. So just a great movie. So 40-Year-Old Virgin is on my list. What do you have next on yours? Or do you have any comments about the 40-Year-Old Virgin? Or is the 40-Year-Old Virgin in your 5 movies?
Oh, I have some thoughts. Don't you worry. No, this is a weird movie for me because, yes, you're right on all your points. It's one that I didn't watch for a while because I hate to say it, but like, I felt a little targeted. Like, these guys, like, I'm watching like how he lives his life, and like he's like collecting all these things, and he's like playing Guitar Hero by himself and doing all this. I'm like, I like all those things. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Come on, sucker!
Right? Like, what do the kids say? I felt targeted. Like,
Yeah. All you crazy ladies around the world that are wearing. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
plus, when it came out, like I was in a very long dry spell of my own at that point, and I was sick of seeing these movies where the absolutely hopeless guy who doesn't have a chance in hell with anybody ends up hooking up. Because I'm sitting there in the audience being like, the fuck that ever happens?
Why am I catching strays?
It's like why I could never really get into like How I Met Your Mother, because to me the whole show is about a guy who bemoans not being able to find the one while catching the hottest women week to week that you could possibly ask for, and he's like, oh, I'm so lonely. Like, oh, you poor baby.
You just don't like How I Met Your Mother because you are Ted. My wife is convinced you are Ted. So,
well,
there's a whole nother episode that'll be therapy.
But that's my whole point. That's my whole point. Is like I'm supposed to identify with Ted, but I'm like, nobody, no lovelorn loser in life ever hooked up with as many hot women as that guy, and he's just like, oh, I'm so alone, and my life is crap. And you mean the architect making architect money in downtown New York, hooking up every week with someone? So yeah, that's my issue there. But otherwise, yes, you're absolutely right. And the movie that I would equate this to slightly with your whole thing of like it's vulgar, but also heartwarming at the same time with the undercurrent and love story is Zach and Miri Make a Porno.
Yes, great. Yes, great analogy.
And a lot of the same cast. So there you go.
Yep. All right. So was 40-Year-Old Virgin in your 5? Or
it was not, because I have a few backups in case we had overlap. But
okay,
what
is your next one?
Movies. So I'm gonna play off of that and list another absolutely top tier comedy from this year, and that would be Wedding Crashers. If this is not in your list, I don't know how you missed it. I mean, do I even need to talk about this movie? Apparently I do, because I'm in Solo right now. But he's giving me this look in off camera, by the way, like I'm a friggin' moron. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Now he's gesturing. So apparently he could be on camera, but he's deciding not to. Anyway, let's talk Wedding Crashers.
I have thoughts. You talk Wedding Crashers.
I mean, what is there that doesn't need said? This is another one where we talked about this before, how like the mid to late 2000s into the 2010s is like peak comedy, and they just don't make movies like that anymore. Like you've got Knocked Up and This Is 40 and The 40-Year-Old Virgin and Wedding Crashers and Anchorman and Step Brothers, and the list goes on and on. And this is just one of those ones where you're like, yeah, it's Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson being hilarious, old school. There you go. Just thought of that because of the two guys that are in this one. I mean, there's just so many comedies from this time. And this one is like, I didn't really know Vince Vaughn until I saw this movie. I don't know if it came out ahead or after Old School, but this movie, it slaps from start to finish, for lack of a better term. And I mean, it's hilarious. And it's got that's, the love story again, though, where you got the crazy one for Owen Wilson and you've got Rachel McAdams for, I'm sorry, no, the crazy one is for Vince Vaughn.
Yes.
I mixed it up. And then Rachel McAdams, yeah, exactly. So this one is friggin' great, man. You know what the problem is, though? I keep mixing this one up in my mind with Step Brothers, because I look at these guys and I want to say, no, fucking Catalina wine mixer. I'm like, no, that's not this movie. But
no, it's not.
I mean, dude, come on. You can quote this one so much better than me. Help me out here. What's their play? What do they call it at the end when they've actually got all four of them in on the shtick and they're going off to the final one?
Venture capitalists, like
they've got many
shticks. Yes. All right. So the reason I put you in Solo, and I'm gonna break a rule. I never give away my number one till the end, but you pulled my number one. This is not only one of the best movies of 2005, dude. This is one of my top 5 favorite comedies ever. This is one of the funniest goddamn movies ever made. Yeah. It is.
I'm glad you landed on your feet. Audience, I don't know if that was my internet or his, but I got like no syllables from that entire sentence of yours.
All right, so now we'll repeat. This is not only one of the best movies of 2005, it is one of my 5 favorite comedies of all time.
High praise. Holy shit.
Yes.
Is there another one on the list that we're going to talk about tonight, or can you just give the other ones?
No, we're gonna talk about. I have 2 other movies in my 5, and then I've got 3 honorable mentions. But yeah, to your point, yeah, Wedding Crashers is one of those like early what is it? Early aughts, early 2000s comedies that are just. And to your point, yeah, Vince Vaughn, man, like Vince Vaughn. There's this one. There's Dodgeball. There's
Dodgeball. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
The Breakup.
Yes.
Oh my God. Like, dude, like, but Wedding Crashers is just, I can't even tell you how many times I've quoted this movie. I mean, even just rule number 76, no excuses, play like a champion. Like that is so universal for so many,
Right.
like so many situations. Dude, like it is so unbelievably eminently quotable. And it just, just make me a bicycle. Why are you yelling at me? Like, why are you yelling at me? Like, just all kinds of things. And like you said, like the love story, like it's that rom-com thing. You've got Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams. You've got Isla, whatever, like Sacha Baron Cohen's wife, the redhead, and Vince Vaughn. The scene at the dinner
Mrs.
table.
Borat. We'll just call her Mrs. Borat.
Yeah, Mrs. Borat. You got the scene at the dinner table where she's like, she's doing things to him under the table, and he's like, she's joking. Feels so good when she jokes. the horrible grandma, like, like there's this scene. I can't even start getting into this movie without laughing. It is so funny, man. From start to finish, this movie is hilarious. It is hilarious. I saw this movie in the theater, and it was one of those times where I was like embarrassing the person I was with because I was laughing so hard. Like you've been in movies with me where I'm laughing so hard, like I literally, because my laugh is a hey, like that stupid dolphin cackle. I cover my face, and I have to do this. Just to like not like, and this is one of those movies, man. Like,
yep.
Oh my God. So, continue your thoughts because I'm 100% on board. This is my top movie from 2005 if I could not see Revenge of the Sith. So
this is your number 1. Holy crap! I feel like you didn't do your homework, or you have a surprising ranking.
Okay. No, number 1 with a bullet, dude. With a bullet, number 1. Like, yeah.
Miranda chiming in.
Great to see you.
Yeah, this movie is so quotable. The problem is I don't do a good Vince Vaughn, so I'm glad that you love this so much because you can do it so much better than I can.
She says, we have tons of opportunities to meet gorgeous ladies that are so aroused by the thought of marriage that they'll throw their inhibitions to the wind. Grab that beautiful butterfly, pal. Scooby to catch him. Who is me? You are. Damn it. All right. On Friday, I'm watching the Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals in its entirety, and after that, I'm watching Wedding Crashers. So anyway,
proper
Cleveland. Anyway, so back to your thoughts about Wedding Crashers because it's fantastic.
No, that's it. I mean, what else is there to say? Like I said, it's amazing. It's hilarious. It's quotable. It's timeless. Moving on.
Yes.
Don't know what else to add. What's next on your list there, bud?
Next on my list is actually a film adaptation of my favorite book in a very popular series, which we have talked about. I have a movie released on November 18th of 2005. It is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about something else.
No. But I think I know where you're going, and I think where you were going, it actually made it an honorable mention of mine, and that's actually a debate at the end of I've got Harry Goblet and the Potter of Fire. So again, I we talked about this on the show. I think it's an awesome adaptation of the book. I know you don't subscribe to it as much as I do. Cam McLeish, Cobble My Fire.
I mean, you get to see Robert Pattinson die, so it's not bad.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that. Look at Kale. He says, "Here's one my mother made me suffer through, but it's technically a great movie, Pride and Prejudice." Kale, I'm going to spoil the rest of the episode for you. That's not on my list. I don't think it's on AJ's either.
Mm-mm.
And also, anytime you use the word "suffer" through,
I don't have either one of those things.
Yeah, well played. Wow. Okay, I feel like I shouldn't speak anymore in this episode. That was very eloquent. Yeah, no, I mean, Goblet of Fire, as we talked about when we did our episode about the movie, that's my favorite Harry Potter book, and I think that it's an awesome adaptation. The film is an awesome adaptation of the novel. I know, again, you disagree with me on that. We're kind of on the opposite sides of that argument, but I think it's excellent. They took just an absolutely gigantic book and managed to narrow it down to the most important parts. They didn't cut out things that were needed. They just did an awesome job. And, again, I think it, just like the book does, it's kind of this linchpin in the series of, their kids for the first three. And then in Goblet of Fire, their kids are, they're adults, and the movie does an awesome job of kind of showing that transition. So it's just incredibly well done. I'm just such a big fan of it. I will never forget the first time I watched the movie, because as I said, I ended up reading the books first, and then I was like, wait, as I read a book, I'm going to watch the movie. And I remember thinking that they did such an awesome job with Goblet of Fire, because I was thinking, how are they going to translate this into a movie that's like 2.5 hours long? And they did it. And it's my favorite of the movies. It's my favorite of the novels. Just an awesome watch. So, technically it should have been, the third on my list, but we've already gone through 4 of mine now. But Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Is that on your list? And if it's not, what is next on your list?
I put it on my list. It's, again, not one of my all-time favorite movies, but I had to pick from what was out in 2005, so it does make the list.
Really? Okay.
This one also, unfortunately, did take the box office crown from Revenge of the Sith. This made $891 million to Revenge of the Sith's 848. So, unfortunately, and that's why we can't really make this our favorite, because
no.
Now we've got a whole episode about this movie too, so go ahead and go back in the archives if you want our complete thoughts on that. I agree, this is a great story, but I feel like this is one, like you said, you read the book and then watched the movie, and I feel like this is, as the movies go on, and this is the first real case of it, when that page count gets really high and they cut out so much stuff that it becomes 2 hours of plot and not story. They just kind of gloss over the emotional impact of what's going on, and just like, we need to show this, we need to show this, we need to show this, regardless of whether or not it makes a good narrative in its own right. It was more like a series of little fan films. They were just filming scenes and decided to smush them together because they all appeared in the book. That's my take on it. But
okay, all right,
yeah. But like I said, it was a monumental task to take all that book and figure out how to dilute it down into such the same runtime as books that were half or less of its page count. So I totally get it.
All right, so Chastity Crawley has Corpse Bride as her number 3. Chaz, what was your number 4?
So shall we move on to my next?
Yeah, apparently you didn't hear me. So Chastity Crawley is talking about Corpse Bride.
No.
Okay, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. Chat, let me know. Is that him, or is that my internet that's making him cut completely out? I don't know, because I'm in the basement and my internet's not that great either. But okay, I see you moving again. I do see some names getting dropped here in the chat, though. So let's pluck one of these out. We're talking animation, looks like. So we've got Miranda chiming in saying Madagascar in 2005. Yes. Amazing movie. Is not on my list. I'm such a sucker for animation. There's a lot of good animated movies that came out this year. So I had to restrict it. I wanted some variety in my list. So we'll put that in honorable mention in my parking lot. But I was going to go with, this is kind of a dark horse pick. I don't know if you've heard of this one, but it did have Mel Brooks doing the voice of one of the characters in it. And that is a little DreamWorks movie called Robots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is one that it's funny. I just saw this in my DVD rack the other day. I just realized that I've got a lot of cool movies on DVD that, of course, stop about 10 to 12 years ago.
By the way, by mentioning Mel Brooks,
stuff back there I should rewatch.
By mentioning Mel Brooks, are you teasing our next episode in 2 weeks? That's all I'll say. So, Robots, continue.
So, Robots is standard kids fare. It's the idea of there's a small town bot. It's a lot like Zootopia. It's just Zootopia before Zootopia. You get the small town bot who wants to go to the big city and make a name for himself because he watches this old man inventor on a TV show that says, if you have an idea, you can be anyone in this world. So he's like, I have an idea. I'm going to go to the big city and sell it and make something of myself. And then, of course, he goes there and finds out that the big city is a harsh, unforgiving place and all that sort of stuff. It's just the typical kids movie fare. And he goes and meets this inventor guy who is voiced by Mel Brooks. And it turns out that he's not nearly the nice guy in real life as he appears on screen. And he overcomes and wins over the hearts and minds of everybody in the process. And yeah, but I just remember this is one of those movies, especially for animation, where you look at it and you're like, holy crap, I didn't know it could look that good. Because this is only like 9 years removed from the first Toy Story. So as good as like A Bug's Life was, and I think that's like 2002, 2001, which had its own stuff. But this one, I'd love to see this on a high-def TV now and see how well it holds up. Because my memory is that this was like photorealistic, minus the fact that, of course, it's a bunch of tin robots moving around. But like all those little animation nerdy details that I look at, like, oh, look at the scuffs and how like it's burnished a little bit in that spot. And you can see like there's primer underneath the paint and like everything has gears in it. So it moves like a machine instead of just being metal that bends around without explanation. And yeah, there's so much stuff in here. I love the look of the world and I love the story. And I remember it was just fun. I'm a sucker for a good kids movie like that.
Well, our buddy Circle J says that this is your second copy. Apparently, you gave your first copy to his son Gage when he was 2 years old, man. So there you go.
I'm glad he's in the chat because I did not remember that actually. That's awesome. See, I spread the word. That's cool.
I am not familiar with this movie, but you kind of make me want to watch it because you've obviously, for our audio viewers, you've changed your background to that movie. Yeah, I'm actually not familiar with it. Now, my question to you is, in terms of the animation style, would the average viewer be impressed by it? Or do you think this is something where it's the artist in you that's like, holy shit, look at this. It's like, all the, these dents and dings and primarily like, is it just an artist notices it? Or do you think it's really that unique for the time?
I think this was a time when actually, no, I'm sorry. This was not, I have to correct myself. Was this DreamWorks? Yeah, they're crediting Ice Age. Okay, so this was DreamWorks. Yeah, this was when they were in an arms race with Pixar. They were really neck and neck as far as like who was going to win out. So everybody was putting their best foot forward. It looks really good. Really, really good. I'm trying to find a good like close-up image from the movie as a representation, but it's cool. Like I remember one little detail, like, like I said, it's a coming of age story. And you're like, how does a robot come of age? Like it's not like Lion King where you can just do like a smash cut and go from cub to full grown lion,
Yeah.
What was it? Hakuna Matata?
Yes.
Yeah. Hakuna Matata playing in the background. So in this case, like he actually gets like new parts. So as he's like growing up, he's like, I've outgrown like this kid face, and he puts on like a new headpiece that has like a more mature look and that kind of stuff. It's
Right.
like it's those cool little ideas. I'm like, okay, someone had fun building this world. So
Okay.
I get off on those little details. I think those are cool.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So I've got one more on my list of 5, and then we will get into my honorable mentions. I'm wondering, because you've got one more as well, correct? You got one
Yeah,
more?
I've got a couple more.
Okay. Wait, how many in your actual 5? Because we picked 5 each, and then we have honorable mentions. Because I've got.
I have 2 more.
You have 2 more. Okay. Well, all right. So then let's get to. Why don't you do another one, and then I will do my final of the 5, and then we'll get into honorable mentions, because I think one of my honorable mentions is in your list. So I'd like to see if I'm right. So
all right. Well, I'm gonna stick with the animation background. Actually, no, I can't do my little trick of swapping backgrounds because I don't actually have the background for that one yet.
While you're looking real quick, Rod Fausna, great to see you, man. He says his are Batman Begins, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Wedding Crashers, Sahara, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Rod, Batman Begins is a very divisive film where I'm concerned. I absolutely find the Nolan Batman trilogy to be wildly overrated outside of The Dark Knight. I think no offense, Rod, Batman Begins is not good. Like whatever the pumpkin head guy, the villain, like if you're gonna do it, like it's a
Jack
very
Skellington,
yeah, whatever.
No.
Thank you.
Scarecrow.
Yeah. It's a very Christopher Nolan villain to use, which I think is a brilliant choice for Christopher Nolan as a filmmaker. But if you're resurrecting Batman, terrible choice. Terrible choice. You had to pull out someone like you can't pull out the Joker right off the rip. But you got to do like the Riddler or, Two-Face, one of the major Batman villains. Scarecrow, no. So, but again, I'm probably in the minority. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, my wife's a big fan of that movie. Sahara, I'm not familiar with. AJ, I see.
All right.
Oh, that guy drives me nuts. So Chastity Crawley, I did see your number 4, but I don't know. Is this your number 4, Chaz, or is this your number 3? Because AJ just changed his background to The Corpse Bride.
Yep. Another dark horse in the animation category for me, because everyone says Nightmare Before Christmas. If you're going to talk Tim Burton animation, you got to talk Nightmare Before Christmas. This was the follow-up, and it's just so overlooked. This and Frankenweenie both don't get enough attention. But Corpse Bride...
I keep forgetting to watch Frankenweenie.
I'm an animation nerd, so this might be my bias again, because it's stop motion animation, which I love, and I watched all of the behind the scenes because I've got it on DVD. I miss I'm going to start buying physical media again because I miss the featurettes and the behind the scenes stuff. That stuff is so cool. And this one was a huge step up technically from Nightmare Before Christmas in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And that alone, like watching all the behind the scenes stuff, because I wanted to be an animator growing up.
Yeah.
I like this story. I think it feels like largely a rehash in a lot of ways, except I feel like in this case the two people actually want to be together by default instead of the weird Jack and Sally thing that was going on. But yeah, again, it's I don't know what else to say besides like it's a heartwarming movie. The animation is great, and I love good visuals. So anything that like looks stylized and interesting and is like a unique take on how to present a story, I'm all here for it. So if you're an animation nerd, this one's got to be on your list.
I wondered if this was if this was going to be one that was on your list, and I'm kind of glad that I might have called this one out because, as you mentioned, like you're a big animation nerd and whatnot. For those of you guys who don't know, AJ is an excellent excellent artist. I mean, like hand drawn stuff. Like if I were to take down my green screen, like I have a Christmas present
used
from
to
him
be.
framed. Shut up, dude. You could do it on the spot, man. AJ stuff is so good that he actually made a 3D out of clay, like one of his characters. It was he had a character named Shell the Turtle, and he would draw us like birthday cards and Christmas cards and stuff as a kid. He would make our cards for us, like hand drawn. And one of my mom's favorite characters was a turtle, like just a turtle, but it was like a cool turtle. And AJ named him Shell. And our mom loved Shell so much that AJ made guys, what about AJ, like 7-8 inches tall, and out of like clay and everything, and sculpted it and painted it and everything. So mom's got an actual like maquette, I guess would be the word, of AJ's character Shell the Turtle. Because she loved it that much, and it looks exactly like his hand drawn characters. If I were to take my green screen down, I have framed it. It's 11 by 18, a Christmas present from AJ when he was a kid. Like he drew a picture of me playing guitar, like as like a cartoon character, and he wrote my name in the font of my band, and it says "Merry Christmas, Jonathan." Like Jonathan's written in the font of my band logo at the time. So he's an excellent artist, like an absolutely phenomenal artist, and he's full of shit. Like if he actually drew something on camera right now, it would look cool as hell. And so I'm not surprised you picked this one, because I was wondering if this would be in there, because I thought it had a very unique look, and like I really thought this was something that you would have in here. So
thank you, man. That's so kind of you. Thank you for saying all that.
No problem, man. I'm not blowing smoke. I mean, it's honest to God's truth. But so AJ, like, he knows his animation, so I was not surprised this was on here. And I do want to real quick gotta say, Kale McLeish, he says, "I'm heading off to work." Kale, great to see you, man. Hopefully we'll see you next week on Talking Into Infinity, man. Joseph Friend is bringing up exactly what I said. By the way, Joe, great to see you, brother. He says, "Don't watch Frankenweenie, JT. You'll cry a lot, then love it." That is a movie that for years, I saw the trailer in theaters when it was coming out. I was like, I gotta watch that, and I never have. And something told me it's gonna be a movie I'm gonna cry at. So apparently I'm gonna cry at it, but I keep meaning to watch it. Like, and you brought it up, like talking about Corpse Bride. Like, should I watch Frankenweenie, or is it going to be one of those movies I'm going to rue the day that I watched? Like,
Joe summarized it perfectly. I mean, you can tell by the title what happens. It's a Frankenstein story about a dog.
Yes.
So
okay.
If you're going to reanimate the dead, you got to be dead first.
Ugh. All right. Well, I still think I should try it.
I remember the trailer just about made me cry. So
I thought the same thing. That's why I was like, "Oh my god,
I don't know if I can handle the whole movie."
Son of a bitch.
Unfortunately, they set that stage early on and then get on with the storytelling, so it's not as bad.
All right. So Miranda brings up a movie that did not make my list, but Joe actually asked about it. She says, "Sin City was really different during that time, but I enjoyed it." I didn't have it on my list, but I remember it because it's who's the is it Frank Miller, I think?
Yep.
Is it one of those, like, it's a whole black and white kind of graphic novel come to life thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah,
I think this was the follow-up to 300.
Okay. No, it's not.
Or this was prior to 300. But anyway, same original artist, and it's the same style where like they're like trying to make graphic novels come to life.
Okay. I was going to say, wasn't the follow-up to 300, 301?
The 302, actually. It was 302. So 3002.
Okay. Sorry. Anyway. All right. So
we are so stupid.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So I've got one more in my 5. And I think this I think is going to be the complete and total left turn. If the Devil's Rejects was not a total left turn, then this one 100% is. I mentioned earlier that I'm a sucker for a good rom-com. I have a movie that was released on our mother's birthday, November 23rd of 2005. It is Just Friends.
Wow.
I am a big sucker for this movie. I don't. Anna Faris is one of the main characters, and I'm not an Anna Faris fan. But it's Ryan Reynolds, which you can pretty much, even if the movie sucks, Ryan Reynolds never sucks. He's just Ryan Reynolds is one of those like actors that is so funny to me that if he was doing a eulogy at a bus crash of a bunch of churchgoers, like it would still be hilarious. Like so it's him and Amy Smart, who she's been in some stuff, but I really don't know what else. I just know who she is, and she's just so, I don't know, relatable in the movie. And Ryan Reynolds, basically the story is like they're high school best friends. Ryan Reynolds was like the big fat kid, but he always like had a crush on his best friend. And when he finally goes to ask her out, like, last night of senior year or whatever the hell, the whole thing gets ruined and he gets ridiculed and he gets run off, and he goes off and loses all the weight, and he becomes Ryan Reynolds with the six-pack and everything, but he becomes a monstrous douchebag, like LA executive, in movies and all this kind of stuff. Like he's a movie producer or something like that. And he ends up getting straight, and he's like, I'm never going back to my hometown, which is basically like, Midwest out here. But, so he's been in LA, and he gets stranded back in his hometown for the winter with his client, who is Anna Faris. And she's like one of the biggest actresses in the world. And she's just a total, just wackadoo. And he reconnects with his his childhood best friend Amy Smart, and it's just it's like it's kind of one of those like goofy rom-coms, like the humor, but the story between Amy Smart and Ryan Reynolds is just really, really touching. It's just you want it to work out, even though you could tell he's a douchebag, but he plays it so well between like, I've become a douchebag, but I'm still me as I was back then. And the ending, like I think of any movie that I've ever watched, and I'm not exaggerating, AJ. Here's something you never known about me. I think I've rewound the ending of this movie more than any other I've ever watched. Like if I'm ever feeling down, I rewind the ending to Just Friends. Like he just knocks, it's just like, I want to take you on a date, and I won't ruin it for anybody who wants to watch the movie. But what's your Bubs? I left Bubba in the room for tonight. But yeah, like, and he just, it's like, it basically like is like, what, for a guy, if you've ever liked that girl and you finally are like, in your heart, you're like, man, if I could really just be honest and just say what I want to say and not worry about getting shot down, like it's what he says. And like, you feel like, yeah, I wish I had the balls to say exactly that. And that's what he does. And it's just like, it's cool, man. And Amy Smart is not comedic. She plays, pretty much straight. I don't know, man. The whole thing it works so well for me. So, yeah. So I have Just Friends, and I'm sure you probably have never even seen it or anything, but I think it's awesome.
I don't know if I've ever even heard of that one, dude. That's like saying Secrets is your favorite track on Diver Down. Like that is a deep cut.
Oh, let's not. Oh, I hope that wasn't a diss, because Secrets is excellent. Thank you. But
I'm saying it's a deep cut, man.
I will say this, something that you will appreciate. The mom in Just Friends, Julie Haggerty. Elaine from Airplane.
Okay.
So there you go. Yes. So yeah, great. I would highly recommend it. So, all right. So there's my 5. You've got one more in your 5, right? And then we'll get to our honorable mentions. Okay. What is last in your 5 then?
So I would be extremely remiss. When you mentioned earlier that you were going for a book turned into a movie, I thought for sure
you're going with my number 1
here.
Yep. It was either Just Friends or Hitchhikers as either in my list or an honorable mention. And the only reason that I don't have the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in my actual 5 instead of as an honorable mention is because some of the changes from the novel in the movie not the biggest fan of. And for that reason, I went back and forth like crazy with Just Friends and Hitchhiker's Guide. But anyway, so you have Douglas Adams' masterpiece, a family legend for you and I, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So what do you got?
Absolutely. So first off, this is one of those cases where the story has gone through so many iterations, and Douglas Adams has been the author of all of them. So when it was a radio drama on BBC, and then it was a book, and it was made into a TV show, and now into this movie, he was the writer at the core of all of those things. So it's weird because you say, I agree with you. There's some stuff that they changed from the book, but no version has been the same as the previous one. So to say like, oh, I don't like the changes they made, like, to which version? That's like saying which version of A New Hope is your favorite, because there's the mono mix, the stereo mix, the special
Right.
edition, the THX remaster, the Blu-ray edition, the Disney Plus version. You know, like, how do you differentiate? And same thing here. But for such a bizarre book, like, how would you possibly translate this to a movie? And what you do is you make a weird friggin' movie. And this is like, I think the casting is perfect. I love the casting. Like, you get come on, he played freaking
Sam Rockwell.
Bill. Yeah, Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell is Zaphod Beeblebrox,
which is awesome. Who
Martin, who's the guy that played the Hobbit?
I want to say Martin Short. And I'm like, no, that's not it.
No, not Martin Short. Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman, yeah.
Martin
So like one of my
Martin
favorite
Freeman,
nerd
yep.
actors. He always shows up in my favorite things. So yeah, I mean, the guy played Bilbo and he played Arthur Dent. So he's like pretty much sci-fi royalty, sci-fi fantasy
Yep.
nerd royalty at this point. And you know, I thought that casting Zooey Deschanel for Trillian was great casting.
Yes, 100%.
And Mos Def for Ford Prefect. I mean, it's fantastic casting all the way through. And then the
Ford
Vogons
Prefect.
looked, God, the Vogons looked so good, right? This is like,
yes,
we love a good foam mask with some motors inside. We're Star Wars fans after all.
yes.
And those Vogons looked like perfectly greasy, slimy, like just book come to life. It was the same way Chastity loves her Harry Potter movies, for seeing all that literary stuff on screen. Like, that's what this movie is for me.
Yes.
I still quote this thing all the time. I try to work 42 into whatever I can.
Right.
So like just last week, I was on this work retreat, whatever. I was on a work trip to Tamworth, England, which is about an hour to an hour and a half northeast, I think. Northeast of London.
Okay.
And I was looking around at like all the, rural English geography and the roadways and the houses and stuff. I'm like, you've got to build a bypass.
Like, it's a bypass. It's got to be built.
A bypass is where everyone from point A wants to get to point B really fast, and everyone from point B wants to get to point A really fast. And then there's point C, which is somewhere between point A and B, that wishes everyone from point A and B would just figure out where the hell they want to be and stay there.
There's a watch along we should do, man.
Right?
Oh my god.
And they've got those cutaways to the guide entries, which are just pitch perfect.
Yep.
And yeah, like, I don't know how you could possibly translate this book any better. The only complaint I could possibly have is that Zaphod's second head was done a little strangely.
Yes. Yep.
But again, what are you going to do? So I thought this movie was fantastic and hilarious in its own right. So I give this one credit the same way some people hate like when a book is made into a movie and there are changes, because they're like, it was perfect the way it was. I'm like, well, then go read the book. But if you use it as inspiration and then you change stuff that you think will make a better movie than the way the book played it out, cool. I'm down for a different interpretation.
And I think you nailed it when you said that Douglas Adams, the author of the original Hitchhiker's Guide, like he was involved in every one of the iterations that came after. So he was involved in the movie. So it's like, it's his, like, yeah, hey, it's kind of like when Stephen King works on an adaptation of his of his novel, you know, he's like, hey man, yeah, I'm cool with this. So
if you say, I don't agree with the changes, well, the guy who created it did.
Yeah. I just, that's why, like I mentioned, you know, before you started talking about it, like the reason it's in my honorable mentions and not, you know, again, I went back and forth with this in Just Friends, and the only reason that it's different for me is because, you know, the only reason Hitchhikers is in the honorable mentions is because there, excuse me as I burp in the mic, that's really professional because we're professional in the show all the time. Asshole.
Hold on, I've got to drink this beer on camera.
You know what's awesome is that as I saw you cracking it and your face didn't move, like you're trying not to move your body at all, you hear so like, yeah, okay, asshole.
Well, if I mute, then the mute icon shows up, so there's really no hiding.
No, it doesn't. There's no mute icon that shows up. It only shows up to us, you dildo. Yeah, see, you're muted and no one can see that. And if they can, who gives a fuck? Drink your beer. Chew your gum. Yeah, I you know, it's some of the changes I was not the biggest fan of. And they're minor, but I think it's one of those things where I'm so used to the book. I've read it and listened to it so many times that when there's a different part, I'm like, that's not in the book. Like,
it's just so quotable, especially in the nerdy software field that I work in. Like I said, we were quoting it last week. AI is all over my company right now because we do, you know, 3D modeling and stuff. And like we're like talking about how, some things take a really long time to chew through if you feed it to AI. And we were like, well, how long does it take? We're like 7.5 million years.
7.5 million years. See, damn it! Now you're gonna cost me like $15. I'm gonna go buy this movie on freaking Amazon, man. How I don't have it by now, I don't know. By the way, but
right,
yeah. I mean, dude, amazing book, amazing audiobook. But yeah, the movie actually does a really great job of, you know. Okay, question. We are very close to the novel itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird. I think you know, it's you got to kind of be into that British humor. Do you think you can appreciate the movie without having read the book? That's something I've always wondered, because
this is the problem of book movies in general.
But this one in particular is so weird that it's like, I think if you don't know Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, this is my thought. And then I did ask you the question, so I want to get your response. But I've always thought, super quick, it's so weird that if you just heard, oh, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is this book everybody thinks is funny. It's like Monty Python humor, but written down. Mm-hmm. And you go watch the movie, I would think you'd go, what the fuck is this? Whereas if you've read the book and then go see the movie, it's like a companion piece. You're like, okay, I get it. It's hilarious. You know, what do you think?
I think you might be onto something there. Especially with things like the Vogons being so bizarre and like, why are they floating around in big yellow bricks? And like it is just such a weird ass movie that if you don't realize that it's based on a book, it's just the weirdest damn piece of cinema. Like I'm gonna call out a chatter here, Miranda, who's actually talking about Hoodwinked 2005, but I just wanted for everyone for reference. She loves Labyrinth, and I had never seen Labyrinth, and that's one of those movies that again is a super weird movie that if you weren't into it to begin with, then you have no nostalgic love for it, and it's just a friggin' weird thing to experience. And I feel like this movie is much the same, where like if you don't have any love for the book, then you see all these things play out on screen. You're like, who the hell would even think of something this crazy?
Right. Yeah, I've always wondered about that, because
remember they landed on the planet. They repurposed one joke from the book in a different way. because I forgot. I mean, look, actually, I don't know. I feel like anybody who tunes into this movie without having read the book already knows what they're in for when they see that John Malkovich is in the credits.
I'm John Malkovich.
Right?
I don't talk like that. You talk exactly like this. There's a Bill Hader reference. All
Yeah,
right.
there you
First
go.
time we brought up Bill Hader on the show. All right.
But there's that joke about the planet of the beings that have like, what is it, like 1,000 arms or something? So they're like, they bear the distinction of being the first race in the universe to develop aerosol deodorant before the wheel. and it's in the movie. Like they land on the planet with the heart of gold, and there's a whole bunch of like bikes that have like squares on them, and then they look like millipedes just standing upright, and they're like spraying their armpits and stuff. Like, what the fuck is that?
I just want to say, my wife has no clue what this movie is. I so want to put this in one night.
Oh, yeah.
Just so 30 minutes in, she just looks over me and goes, "What the fuck are you making me watch?" While I'm pissing myself laughing.
Right. Instead of our watch along, we should turn the cameras on the women.
Oh,
Make them
my
suffer
God.
through it without any context and see what happens.
Just wait, babe. There's mice coming up and a dolphin. Trust me, you'll like it. It gets cute, I promise. Oh my God. Yeah, Hitchhikers, man. All right, yeah. That was the first one on my honorable mention. Again, I flip-flopped like crazy with that and Just Friends, and just because a couple of the changes that they made to the movie kind of annoyed me, just because I'm a purist with that. I hold the original, very near and dear to my heart. I was like, all right, well, I'll make it my first honorable mention. So, I have. Do you have honorable mentions, or should I have two.
Okay, so go with your first. I've got one honorable mention to go, and then we'll wrap up with yours.
Okay. So I have my first honorable mention after Hitchhiker's Guide. I have Saw 2, released on October 28th of 2005. I'm a horror fan. I like the plot twist. Is that yours?
Yep.
Okay, it has my least favorite scene in a horror movie ever.
Can I guess?
Yes. And
Pit of syringes.
Yes. That for any of you guys who don't know, I absolutely fucking hate needles. I can't even tell you. Like if I got to get blood drawn or get a shot, like I pretty much vomit. So in this movie, when she gets dumped into a pit of used needles, I'm sitting in the theater like, yeah, I'm about to projectile vomit over this entire goddamn theater. It was like that. Like literally every other death scene in Saw, I would rather endure than that. But and maybe it's because it'd be easy for me to endure, because I would be in such an absolute abject panic that I would have a heart attack and die. I would die of a heart attack, not the used needles, because I would just be so absolutely disgusted.
Yeah, the first Saw movie is so different from the ones that followed. This one gets a pass because it was the first of all the rest of its kind.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, the elaborate death traps and everything are completely preposterous, but it's more than just one guy playing dead in the middle of the room and waiting for a guy to saw his own foot off.
Yeah. Well, dude, just the fact that looking through the keyhole and and it's the gun, it's like blows a hole through the guy's head.
Yeah, right.
I saw it in the theater. I was like, yes, now we're talking. Now we're in a JT horror movie. Let's go.
Okay, so what was your favorite trap? Was it that one?
Honestly, you know what I think it was? It's a very simple one where they have to reach their hand up in the glass case and like the it's like there's no way to get out without like absolute like skinning yourself or ripping your hand off. Like it seems
it's like
simple,
a one way where
like,
it's like a lobster trap that way where it'll allow you to put your hand in, but you can't pull your hand back out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like I love the simplicity of it, because when you look at it, you're like, oh, this ain't so bad. But then it's like in real time, you're realizing what they're realizing. You're like, oh fuck, man, like they can't pull their hand out without like completely like they're
They have to
done.
choose to mutilate themselves.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell's going on, man? So I think that was it. Yeah. And
that was mine too.
I think the other thing about this movie, like, and you said it perfectly, was that like the first one is very unique. Thank you, Chaz. Perfect. Degloving. That's the term.
That's
there
what
you
it's
go.
called. Yes.
Yes.
That's a real thing, by the way. I learned that. That's the problem of being with someone who's in law enforcement and has to go learn from a mortician.
Dude, of course it's real. It's in Saw 2. Duh.
Yeah.
Ass.
It's a real term and that's a real process.
But Joseph Friend says
fingerprinting.
Ooh, I'm glad you cut out for a second there because I think
you can literally do that. You can remove the skin of a cadaver and put it on yours like a glove so you can fingerprint the body.
That's I just want to give you credit. It's been over a decade on the show and you've officially brought up the gnarliest thing ever mentioned on our show.
It's grisly stuff, man.
Wow. Welcome to the Nerf Herder Council for all you first timers. Joseph Friend says, interesting. I can't believe we just talked about that. I love it, but I can't believe we talked about it. Joseph Friend says, interesting detail about that razor trap. It is not a mistake. It is not hidden. That's the key to open the box, or the key to open the box was directly above it. And all she had to do was not stick her hand in. Really?
Okay. I think we've got a theme going through this whole thing, and that's that we uncovered some movies that we really need to rewatch.
Yeah. That what? Look, Circle J. In terms of the fingerprinting, have they tried leaving them on the body? You know, if you guys knew Jason, Circle J, the way that AJ and I do, you'd be able to picture him in the room with the cadaver, just like I am right now, going, "Can't we just leave it on the body?" Jay, I love you, man. Oh my god, holy shit. Yeah. No. Anyway,
you guys can continue that conversation in the chat. We're not going to keep sharing replies to that thread.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think you absolutely nailed it. Like the first Saw is definitely incredibly unique. Like you said, it's just like one guy in a room, you're waiting for him to saw his foot off, whatever. And then the second one, you get into this gore, you're like, well, this is a little different. And then they just rode that train for the rest of the entire series, you know, whatever, 10 movies or whatever. But I think it was kind of cool, you know, in this one. It was like it was unique at the time. I don't think it got any worse. Like you're like, I've already seen this, you know, with the later movies, because really that's what you go to see. It's kind of like Terrifier. Like there's going to be a fourth Terrifier, and I basically just like I want to see so much gore that when I leave the theater, I hope that there's like fake blood that they splatter on you.
All right,
you know, watching, you know. Look at Jimmy. I love my baby's pound cake. Jimmy, I started out the show with a quick review of For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, man. You missed it. Hour and a half ago, man. But yeah, like, you know, I go to see a Terrifier movie to see that. And with Saw, this started the whole thing. But I think this was really unique because you really weren't expecting it. You're like, wait a minute, what? And especially considering, you know, what's her name? Amanda, I think, was like, you know, she survived. You're like, oh my God, she's back and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, she turns out to be like kind of on, you know, turns out to be a sidekick of, you know, Jigsaw, whatever. So yeah, dude, just a great horror movie, man. Especially coming off the heels of Saw. Like, I think it was kind of like, I've heard people say, well, this is kind of like the Blair Witch 2 of, you know, horror movies. Like, no, Blair Witch 2 just completely shit on the original and was like, ugh. It was like a paint by numbers, just bleh. Like this one is like, yeah, it's not what you expected from the first, but you still came out of going, well, that's different, but that's awesome. You know? So
yeah.
Very cool. So I do have one more honorable mention, and then we will close up shop. This is one that this is a movie I think gets a whole lot of hate. I wonder if it's because of the length of the movie. It's a 3-hour movie, but I think it was done extremely well. The effects are amazing. It has a scene with giant bugs that absolutely is like, I don't know if I would rather, what's a worse death for me? Sawtooth in the pit of needles, or with a whole bunch of giant goddamn bugs. And no one has mentioned this movie. And again, I think it's because it's completely underrated. I have a movie released on December 14th of 2005. I have King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Wow, I didn't realize that you rated that one highly enough to mention it. Okay.
I love it. I love it. I do. It's like, I love the effects. I kind of think the length is cool. I think it's a story that it's fun at that length. You can get into a lot of detail with it. Yep, there you go. Yep. Rod Fosnaugh, he gets it, man. King Kong, he knew. Yeah, dude, this movie's just fun to me. It's one of the rare movies where I think Jack Black, his overacting kind of fits. Again, I mean, dude, you've got King Kong fighting a tyrannosaur, like 2 of them, I think it was. You know, the giant bug scene, like, I mean, just it's a modern version, a modern high def, great looking version of an old Creature feature. It's, you know, I think,
Yep.
you know, yeah, Rod says, you know, it's Kong in the city at wintertime. Yeah, dude, come on, right? I mean, this is like, if you were like, let's say like an 80-year-old man or something at the time this movie came out, and you're still going to movies, like, and you watch this, you're like, dude, this is what in my head I pictured King Kong as when I saw the movie in the theater when I was a little kid back in the 20s or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and like, it looks fantastic. It's fun. You know, it's a 3-hour movie, and I guess it can kind of get long at times for some people, but for me, it moves really quickly. And man, I've always really enjoyed this movie, and people hate on it like crazy. And it's one of those things, like, how many times have we said on the show, there are things that we like where we say, well, I can understand why people wouldn't like this, but I love it. This is one of those, like, I guess I can see why people wouldn't be into it, but I love it. I think it's awesome. So yeah, I don't know if you've watched it many times or if you hated it or liked it at all, but I'm a big fan. So
yeah, this is another one where yeah, they used the technology right to where nowadays people like to rip on Attack of the Clones for being like way too digital and way too much reliance on CG. This had a ton more, of course.
Yeah.
But they used it. I think it was because they were trying to like do a modern update of a movie that came out. I just Googled it to make sure. 1933. So they didn't overuse it. It wasn't like crazy camera moves and all these things that just whatever it is about it, we can tell, you know?
Yeah.
This one, it looked good. And like you said, I thought it was really good. And I was also very surprised because when I saw Jack Black was in it, I was thinking, oh God, it's just going to be Jack Black. and
Yeah.
I don't remember him being comedic at all. Like, he just played the role straight.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. He can be not obnoxious.
Yes. Over the top, but straight. Yes.
Mhm.
The character itself was over the top. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But overall, like you said, it was a great movie. And I didn't even know it was 3 hours. I don't remember it being that long because that's a credit to what it felt like to watch. It didn't feel like a slog.
And
I think, of course, it was going to look good, though. I mean, it's Peter Jackson. I mean, if you're going to do Lord of the Rings, you better come proper with your King Kong. So
yeah, right.
Well, okay, then The Hobbit happened, but for the most part, Peter Jackson could be relied on to make a good-looking movie.
I completely agree with that, dude. And again, I think he one of the things that he's always done very well, if you look at his projects over the years, and I think he said, like, you know, Lord of the Rings, I think, is an excellent example of what I was going to say. Like when he does something that's an existing property, he is so respectful to the source material, but does such a good job of recreating it. And making sure that it has the vibe of the original. And I think this is just another example of that, So Joseph Friend with a great point. He says Jack Black used to be Jack Black and an actor. Now he's just himself all the time. Yeah, I'm not a Jack Black guy. I think he overacts constantly, and I'm like, dude, you're not funny. Just it's ugh.
He's a good Bowser.
Yeah, because he's not on screen and he has to be completely wild and overacting.
Right, he's a cartoon voice, so
yes,
it works.
So Chastity Crawley says, I like King Kong. It pulls on the heartstrings a bit. Yeah, see, Chaz, that's what I think. It's a creature feature, updated for 2005, great effects and everything. But yeah, it's got a lot of heart to it. It kind of does, as AJ likes, it hits you in the feels. I think they do a great job, man. It's an awesome movie. If you guys haven't seen it, again, it's a little bit long, but if you're into those kind of old school monster movies, I think this is an amazing updated version of one. So, all right, man. I believe that'll do it for tonight. So why don't we close up shop and give a little bit of a shout out here, which I forgot to do at the beginning because you were having technical difficulties. But I believe we did forget to talk about the Boone to Eve Special Edition Texas 2 Electric Boogaloo, which is going to happen on Friday, August 7th from 8 until midnight at the Revel Patio Grill at 9305 Preston Road in Frisco, Texas. This is, of course, a special event for Rebel Scum Con 2 down in Frisco. $35 tickets for adults. Kids under 12 are $30 with the paid adult. VIP tickets are $50, which includes early entry, line skipping, priority seating, and special swag. The event is going to have meet and greets, sabak, courtesy of our friends at Hyperspace Props, and live band karaoke, as well as full bar and a food menu available. Of course, Boone to Eve Special Edition Texas 2 Electric Boogaloo is brought to you by our sponsor, which is New Hampshire LASIK Associates. See the galaxy in a whole new way. Again, they are the official event sponsor of Boone to Eve Texas 2. Guys, we will be right.
Specified there's a full bar because I hate walking into a half empty bar,
Only a half bar? I ain't going.
Yeah, the half empty bar is the end of the night.
Yes, exactly. All right, guys. So we are going to be back here with our next episode. It will be on Wednesday, July 1st, and we will be celebrating a birthday on that show. That birthday occurs on June 28th, and that birthday is that of someone who shaped AJ and I's childhood, our adulthood, our sense of humor, everything. I always tell people that I was raised on the Marx Brothers, and this gentleman, who was born on
Cheetah. No, sorry, I stepped on it. My bad.
This is why I'm the host and you're the co-host.
You do go on a bit. Just saying.
I was about to get to it if you would have shut up. Of course, I'm talking about David Koresh, ladies and gentlemen. See, look what you did. Anyway, I tell people.
Epstein.
I'm not going to say that. Okay, we're out of here. See ya.
Right.
No, but yeah, I always tell people, guys, that I was raised on the Marx Brothers, and Mel Brooks. And Mel Brooks turns 100 years old on June 28th. AJ and I were raised on the Holy Quadrilogy, I would call it. And we're going to talk about that and Mel Brooks on our next episode on July 1st. The Holy Quadrilogy, of course, is History of the World Part 1, Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, and Spaceballs. And yeah, our dad just absolutely raised us on that stuff. Our uncle raised us on that stuff. Mel Brooks is religion in our family, and God bless him. Not only is he turning 100, but he just finished another movie. And next year in April, about a few weeks after Star Wars Celebration, AJ and I are going to get drunk and go watch Spaceballs 2, the new one. And I don't know about you, AJ, but I I know there's a Star Wars movie coming out next year. I don't know that I'm not more excited for Spaceballs 2. And that is extremely high praise considering how excited I am for a new Star Wars movie, as you know. So, are you excited for Spaceballs 2 or are you nervous?
Can I be both? I love that it's happening, but History of the World Part 2 was not what I was hoping for.
History of the World Part 2 on Hulu is excellent if you trim the fat. There is a hilarious movie in there, a good 2.5-hour movie in there. I will give you my thoughts since you say you're both. I have said this on so many Spaceballs 2 posts. I don't care if it sucks. The fact that I'm getting a new Mel Brooks movie and that it's Spaceballs, I don't care if it sucks. I'm just going to get drunk and laugh my tits off. Oh, I'm sorry, my man boobs. Sorry. The views of the Nerf Herder Council don't necessarily reflect those of the Virtual Cantina Network.
Nice. Way to cover.
Yeah, dude, it was, what was it, 1988 or something? 1987. I was 11. And here it's going to be like 39, 40 years later, and I'm back in a movie theater watching another Spaceballs movie. Like that's all that I care about. That is so unbelievably badass that even if I laugh like 3 times, I'm just not going to care. It's one of those rare instances where personally I'm expecting it to absolutely be terrible, and I don't care. I'm just going to soak in the fact that I am reliving my childhood. It's like when Star Wars came back, dude. Only it's been almost 4 decades.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna love it. And back to our original topic, Mel Brooks, man, 100 years old. That is so unbelievably cool. So, yeah. Chastity Crawley, is it like pizza? Even if it's bad, it's good. Yes, it is a new it is a new Mel Brooks movie, Chaz. So yes, it's good. When the guy is 99 and now 100 years old and he's making a new movie, you can't rip the guy. Seriously. So, I'm excited to talk about 4 of our favorite movies of all time. So, yeah, and we promise, Spencer in particular, we will not get into the offensive stuff. We've talked about doing like a Blazing Saddles episode, and he's basically pissed himself. But yeah, no, we're not gonna be offensive. So there's not gonna be anything like that. But yeah, we're gonna talk about those 4 films and Mel Brooks himself. So, any final thoughts, AJ, before we jump out of here for this evening?
My final thoughts on the 2005 lineup are that one, I couldn't actually, before looking them up, name even like 3 movies that came out this year besides Revenge of the Sith. Turns out that it's a pretty good catalog overall, I'd say. A lot more good movies than I thought came out this year. What about you?
Yeah, like I said, I had there were actually like 2 or 3 that I left off of my honorable mention list. And yeah, it was better than I thought. When we initially came up with this idea, and you're like, "Hey man, what's that thing you do on Talking Into Infinity?" I was like, "Oh yeah." And yeah, there were a few more that I actually left off just to not make it lengthy, but yeah, definitely a good year for movies, man. And even if you just take our 5 each of us, we had what, 2 crossovers. I mean, that would still leave us with 8 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, if you're seeing 8 movies in a single year that you like, that's 1 every month and a half. Like, that's a damn good year at the movies, man. So
the other unsurprising thing is that it's not just the top box office hits of the year. We've got some pretty low grossing movies on our list here.
Yeah.
Like, Saw 2 was a blip on the radar. Hitchhikers was a blip on the radar, that kind of thing. Yep. But when you've got juggernauts raking in like a 850 million plus, yeah, the fall off is pretty dramatic.
Yep. So speaking of fall off, before we get out, you might get a very quick episode from me next Friday night. I might jump on at some crazy hour in the morning. I'm going to see Jackass. I'll be in mourning that it's the last Jackass. I am like the world's biggest Jackass fan. But AJ, I'm going with Matt and Christy Dixon. So
nice.
yeah. So gonna go see the new Jackass movie. I encourage all of you guys to go see it too, because if you don't like Jackass, you just don't have a sense of humor. So in any case, guys, thanks for tuning in again to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. As always, we are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. If you are into Mel Brooks like we are, you can use that free credit that you get signing up for Audible to get Mel Brooks's autobiography, which he reads himself. So check that one out. I have it in my library and I've started listening to it. It's very, very good, very interesting if you're into that sort of thing. If you'd like to get some awesome Virtual Cantina Network swag, just go to tpublic.com/user/ tpublic.com/user/ virtual-cantina. If you would like to get some awesome customizable Nerf Herder Council swag, go to shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. If you're watching on YouTube on either our why can I not talk tonight? What the fuck?
You're still better at it than I am.
Jesus. If you're watching on YouTube and either our channel or that of the Virtual Cantina Network, fuck it, just click like and subscribe. God damn it. All right, we're a show. We're going to be back on July 1st. Son of a bitch, man. Oh my God.
Dump out.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, you know all the bullshit. I'm JT. He's AJ, and apparently I'm the world's biggest goddamn clod hopper. So we'll see you on July 1st. AJ, anything left?
We'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. Have a good night.